one day somebody does something unspeakable to someone else, to someone you hardly knew, and you do something about it because you can.
This story is brought to us from KCUR. The Missouri police sniper who mistakenly shot and killed a 2-year-old girl and whose name has been masked by a lawsuit is now a Missouri State Highway Patrol trooper. Imagine that. For almost 4 years, the city of Joplin, Missouri fiercely guarded the identity of a SWAT sniper who shot Cleslin Crawford in the head during a hostage standoff. For 2 of those years, the officer in Joplin have fought KCUR and the Midwest newsroom in court to hide the officer's name. And it remains secret until now. His name is Keaton Siebenaler, or Siebenaler? I don't know how to pronounce that. He was hired by Joplin Police in 2016, and when he left the department last August, he was making $50,180 a year, according to the city. Well, he will now patrol Vernon and Barton counties, about an hour south of Kansas City, as a state trooper, according to the Missouri State Highway Patrol. He was sworn in last Friday along with 18 other new troopers who entered the academy in January. The MSHP said it was aware Siebenaler killed Cleslin during the hostage standoff. It said the patrol recognizes the lasting impact this case had on those directly affected and will always approach a situation like this with compassion and professionalism, said Captain Scott White, head of public information, in an email. Captain White said the MSHP conducted a full background investigation that included his work with the Joplin police, and Siebenaler met all the legal and professional standards for employment, except shooting a little girl in the head, right? A KCUR and Midwest newsroom investigation revealed Siebenaler, who's now 36, was on the Joplin SWAT team for 5 years and served as team leader for 2 years. But on March 26, 2022, he was known as Sniper One. That evening, Siebenaler and his Joplin SWAT teammates were called to Baxter Springs, Kansas, to back up local police, sheriff deputies, and Kansas Highway Patrol troopers at a hostage-taking. Taylor Shute and Eli Crawford were having one of their many domestic fights in Crawford's tiny trailer on the edge of town. Shute called police soon after they knocked on the door. Crawford shot her in the head with a pistol as she tried to flee. Also in the trailer was 2-year-old Cleslin Crawford, the couple's daughter. Eli Crawford retreated into the trailer as Shute lay dead on the front steps. Then he started firing at police. Nobody returned fire because there was a child inside the camper trailer, a Baxter Springs police officer told Kansas Bureau of Investigation agents. But 2 hours later, after Crawford had fired almost 100 rounds at police, Siebenaler, Sniper One, killed Cleslin with a gunshot wound entrance in the left eye, according to her autopsy. She was wearing pink pants, a gray shirt, and a blue tutu. After Cleslin was killed by Siebenaler, Crawford shot himself. Siebenaler was to provide a statement for this story through his lawyer, Sean McCauley, from Kansas City. The day after Siebenaler was sworn in as a highway patrol trooper, McCauley emailed KCUR's lawyer to say there would be no comment. He said, "I wanted to let you know that my clients have reconsidered and they will not be providing a statement." A KCUR and Midwest newsroom investigation uncovered several mistakes by Siebenaler. Imagine that. Since Cleslin was killed, her family and many in the city have called for Sniper One's name to be released. They said, if it had been you or I, we've had our name blasted all over, and that's true. But nobody was ever held accountable by the city of Joplin, they said. Joplin and Cherokee County, Kansas, did settle a lawsuit by the family for $1.5 million. Still, the death haunts Nichols almost every day. She said, time has eased the trauma, but just a little. That's a family member. She said, the hard part is still going out to the grave and having to decorate it for every holiday. Those things don't get easier. She's a family member. At a protest in downtown Joplin in April of 2024, some called for Sniper 1 to be fired. He said, "I have an almost 2-year-old daughter here," said Austin Hagston. "As a father, an expectant father, I'm just terrified knowing that the officer is still out there, still on duty, somebody who is kind of a loose cannon." Now he's a highway patrolman. City records obtained with the Missouri Sunshine Law confirmed Siebenaler left the department in August of 2025, but retained his peace officer license. That is one reason KCUR and the Midwest Newsroom fought to unmask Siebenaler so that other departments would know his background. They said, what if that officer applied to be the chief of police? What if that officer applied for a job in another department? Said attorney Bernie Rhodes, who represents the Midwest Newsroom and KCUR. It was Siebenaler who sued the city on November 20th, 2023 to redact his name from the KBI officer-involved shooting report, which was obtained with the Missouri Sunshine Law. The city agreed, which is when KCUR and the Midwest Newsroom intervened. The case was set for trial on April 8th in Jasper County Circuit Court, but Siebenaler's lawyer proposed dropping the lawsuit in return for holding the story until April 14th. Now that Siebenaler is no longer with the Joplin Police Department, does Nichols feel any better? Yes and no, he says. That's kind of hard, she said. That's the family member. He is a human as well. Did he leave because he was, having emotional ups and downs? Does he feel bad? I'm sure. But the fact remains that he's been hidden this whole time. And he's been protected this whole time, she said. Yeah, it's really a long story. You can click the link in the description box and continue to read this story if you want. But it's really sad. It's, here's this sniper who, and some people may say, it was an accident, I'm sure. I don't think he meant to shoot a 2-year-old in the head. Cleslin Crawford was 2 years old. I don't think he meant to do that. I don't think but he did. He made a mistake. And if a surgeon makes a mistake, he gets sued for malpractice. If any other person in an occupation makes a mistake, that, he made a mistake and it was like, well, he's a cop and sometimes things happen. Well, now he's a cop again. He's a highway patrolman. So if you see this guy, Siebenaler, if you see Siebenaler on his nameplate, go, you know what? I'm going to call my lawyer right now and I don't shoot me. Right? Am I wrong? Let me know.